Hello everybody! Happy Wednesday afternoon. It is a gloomy day, which means it's a great day to be crafting. And while I'm waiting for everyone to come on, I know a lot of people rewatch this later or watch it for the first time after work or whatever. I just want to show you some of the amazing cards that I've received after my surgery, and I just thank you all so much. I absolutely love them all. Thank you, Karen. This is beautiful, and it's totally my style. I'm like, where did you get that record player? I want that. This is so beautiful. Also from Karen, sending happy thoughts. It's so cute. And Tanya sent me this one with all the different paper layers. It's like a simple thing, and yet it's just so cool looking. Thank you. And then Stephanie, oh my gosh, I don't know if you can see the sparkles of the crystals, but this is one of the Stamplistic Swarovski crystal stamp cards, and I cherish them all. I have them all sitting up on my shelf, and it means a lot to me that you guys were thinking about me. It's a challenge to get through this surgery. Now I feel like the therapy is the hardest part, and I'm kind of to that point where I've done all the easy stuff in therapy, so from here on it's the hard part. So dang, I'm not good at therapy. I'm not a good patient as a nurse, just saying. So this is something I wanted to share with you. Anna made this really cool, what she calls a birthday card, which I call a mini album, but she made this using the As You Grow papers, and she told me I could share it. It's just a real short little video showing, if it'll load. All of a sudden my internet just sort of went blinky. Come on, come on. See if it's gonna load. I may have to reload it. Hold on. Try again. There we go. So it's like a waterfall with photos, and then see how it pops back, and then the happy birthday, and the whole thing closes like an envelope. Cute. And then it has like a belly band. That is just so cool. So cool. And I love that she sent me pictures of that, or sent me a little mini movie of that. I love it so much. And those As You Grow papers, you know, it's really easy when we get into all of the new stuff in the catalog. It's really easy to just forget about that core catalog, and those papers are amazing in the core catalog. So I may be showing more of that in the near future, but right now I want to show you, sorry, I'm making a mess over here next to me. This is what happens when I don't really get my act together. Okay, I want to show you the Cake Day card making workshop. I love it too, Stephanie. It is cool. It is so cool. She did a great job. So this card workshop has been extremely popular, but it's still available. And the main reason I think it's so popular is because it has that cool pull-out mechanism, which I'm going to show you how that is done. And it has this cute little banner, and then it has a stamp where you can just stamp right on the banner in a certain color. You don't even have to use markers. It has these little candles, little teeny tiny candles, and a couple of birthday messages. So to me, that's a big win with this set. So I'm going to set this set over here for a minute out of the way. And I want to show you again. Now, I have shown this card more than once because it was the first card that I made where it's a Z fold, and I used the Cake Day papers, and I used markers on my banner instead of ink, like stamped. But one thing, I love this card so much. I love it so much. And if you got it in the mail or you got it, you probably wouldn't notice this, but as a card maker, I noticed it, is that my cake didn't line up perfectly. And when you pull it out, it's just not even noticeable. But when you have it pushed in, it's like it's like, how did they do that? How did they line that up? So I played with it a little more, and I have some tricks for those of you who purchase this set. So before I do that though, I want to show you, oh no, I think I'll show you that now. So here's my stamp set, and I'm just gonna lay this out here, kind of messy. And I have, so what I did was I went ahead and I cut a whole bunch. I told you I cut a lot of parts and pieces. And so what I did here is cut one of the cake and one of the slice so that I could show you, you know, like how I did it, not necessarily, you know, that you have to do it my way. I'm going to color with markers. I have different color markers because I'm going to do a little bit of other coloring. So right now we're going to stick with pink though. This is the magenta blend, and it goes from a super light pink to a dark. And it takes a lot of ink to do this kind of thing. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making this cake kind of rounded like this, and that way I know where my cake plate starts. And then normally I go in little circles like this to color, but I'm just this takes so much of my ink that I just sort of have been going up and down like this. Okay. So this will take a minute. So while I'm coloring this, I wanted to talk to you guys about podcasts and stuff. Do any of you guys do podcasts or listen to podcasts regularly? Because I really have been, I like to listen while I'm crafting. And I do a lot of the true crime podcasts, and I'm kind of caught up on things like Crime Junkies is my favorite by far, and I'm caught up with that. So I was looking for other ones that were good. I've been listening to one called Morbid, and I really like Morbid a lot. I think it's pretty clever. I'm just gonna add some dark color here. Now remember, this cake has a rounded top at the top, so I'm just adding some color. And this is, you know, this does not have to be perfect because I'm going to stamp on it. You won't even notice that it's not colored totally, completely, perfectly. Now the other thing that's on here that's, I'm going to use my brown. This is earth brown, but I basically want to make a handle like kind of like the cake spatula or whatever that you use to pick up the cake with, you know, slide it under. Anyway, so today, the last week, I have been listening to, I'm gonna put a piece of paper under this so that I don't color all over my, there we go. It's hard to see now, but I've been listening to the new Downton Abbey official podcast. Have any of you started watching that? Oh my gosh. I love it. They're interviewing all of the actors and they're telling like the inside scoop on parts of the show. It is so good. And today they interviewed Mary. Actually, it might have been yesterday. I just caught up. But anyway, I just thought that was really fun. Okay, so we have our two pieces, more or less colored, not colored perfectly, but I could go over it again, I guess. All right, two pieces colored. So here's the thing. When you look at the stamps, there's this row at the bottom and the top, and it's a smallish stamp. It looks like a line, and it'll go right here like this, okay? But if you stamp, the cake slice has a similar thing, and then there's this one that goes on the top. So if you start with the cake slice and kind of stamp it first, you can kind of line it up. I'm going to use the wild berry ink. So when you line this up on the cake slice, you want it to be off just a little bit. Like that. Okay? And see how the top has like, it shows like the top. Okay, let me wipe that off. Put this back on my sheet. And now I have this piece that will go on the bottom. Now, one of the ways that so now I'm going to slip this into the slot like this, and I'm going to slide it into place, okay? Now, when I stamp the bottom and the top, I can use the lines from the cake slice to help me line up. And my cake slice will be perfect. So if you do your slice first, it helps. Okay, now I'm going to do that top. And again, I'm using wild berry. The first few of these that I made, I used black ink, and honestly, I wasn't crazy about having black sprinkles. There's something about seeing that. I stamped the black sprinkles. So then I went back with my marker and added some colored sprinkles because it was weird to have it black. And then the icing being black was a little weird too. Now, because I used black on the card, it's not as noticeable as a weird thing, but I just thought, honestly, it needed something besides black. So there's my cake, and then you can color in, use a marker or something and color in your bottom, and what you end up with is something like this. So I stamped "It's Your Day," and when you pull it out, it says "Happy Birthday." So those are stamps that are in the set, and you can see it lines up perfectly. And then I'm just going to show you, I'll finish this one later, and I kind of made a card front for this using the Cake Day paper. So this is that all over print. This one I stamped using, there's a little star stamp in the collection, and so I stamped it kind of randomly on white, and I just used a little bit of Lagoon cardstock. And when you put it on, I'm just going to move this a little bit out of the way. I want to make sure you can really see it in here. When you put this on, you could just glue it down just here and on this edge, and that way this is free to move. I kind of like having a little bit of foam tape on here, like even if you just use squares or something, just to pop it up a little bit. It seems like the mechanism does work really nice if there's a little pop up there. So I'm just going to put a few foam squares. I'm using black so you can see them. I wanted you to be able to see where I'm putting them. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that on the front of the cake and see how that just slides so easy. The other thing that I think is kind of helpful is one thing I noticed when I was playing with the other card is this little handle right here gets a little, it's a little thin. So I used an extra piece of cardstock, and I shored that up a little bit. I just put an extra little strip on there to give it a little more strength, because it's going to get a lot of action, right? This card is sure to be opened and closed a lot. And then I have, of course, the Cake Day dots, which are so awesome. I bought a ton of these because they go with so many of the paper colors, and I know that in the future, you know, I will want to use more of them, but you can just put them wherever you like. And I love it. I love the Cake Day dots. Aren't they fun? So this is a great birthday card. So now you've seen a couple cards with it being cake, but one of the makers came up with this. Oh my gosh, she just blew my mind. And I want to show you this. It's going to blow your mind. Look at this. She made it into a hunk of cheese. And so I basically recreated her card. And then when you pull on it, you know what gets better with age? You. And do you recognize that cute little adorable mouse? It is from our stamp of the month, Sweet Little Things. There's that little mouse right there. And he's the perfect size to sit on this cheese block. And so, oh my gosh, I had to recreate this. And I wanted to show you how to do it also. So I kind of put together a few things here, and we will, how about if we start by just putting our card base together, because then it'll be ready for our hunk of cheese when we're ready. So this is the mix-in pack. One side is that kind of cool nectarine, and the other side is that just stripy nectarine. And I'm gonna do this first. One of the glue that I'm using today is the Mono Air. This is the new Tombow. And it, you know, I always loved Tombow. It was amazing. It's been around for so many years. It's such a awesome glue, but one of the things that was always an issue as it seemed like they, I don't know, got cheaper and cheaper with that glue, and it just didn't, it kind of got to the point where it wouldn't hold very well. So this is their updated version, and I love it. It's actually a lot stickier. It's like, it goes on in like little dots. I don't know how well you can see that on camera. Probably not. Sometimes it looks shiny so you can see it better, but I'm just going to put that there. I'm just eyeballing this. So if it's off, it's off. It's like, who's going to know? Who's going to care? Okay, that. And then I'm going to put this. I love, this is my favorite pattern in the Mix Impact. Remember I used it with the whale. It looked like water or waves. And the other side is really cool too. All right, so we're gonna just put that down. All right, so we are ready with this. And I did go ahead and do this as well. And I'll foam tape that a little bit. I feel like I don't have to use as much adhesive when I'm making a card that won't, I don't know, I don't have to worry about it like lasting forever. But I am going to go ahead and put that on. When I do scrapbook pages, I feel like I need a lot. Okay, so here's what I've cut out. I'm going to put that card base there. Here's what I cut out. I've cut out in yellow, and this is lemonade yellow. I cut out the slice and the main cake, right? And then I cut out the main cake also in this lagoon color because I want to be able to make the cake plate without using marker. Because if I color this in with marker, who knows what color that'll end up, right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors and I'm going to cut, hold on a minute, I have a little moose hair there. Okay, I'm just going to cut this off. Now when you cut, you don't want to cut your, you don't necessarily want to cut your slice too much. Like, you know, your little sliver. Okay, and then this will be glued right on there. Okay, and then this, see how that still has a slice and a cut in it. But before we do that, I want to do some sponging. I want to make this look like cheese. So I grabbed the Sundance, which is like a little orangier than the lemonade, and a dauber. And basically, I'm gonna ink the edges of the cheese. That gives it a little dimension, like it's curving, so it looks like shadow. Like that. And I'm doing the whole, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom too. And then just because it's so yellow, I'm gonna add a few splotches to it too. I was gonna cut the whole thing in Sundance. It really looks better in the lemonade. It just looks more real, and the shading has to be so much darker. Now the other thing, okay, that looks pretty good, is the handle. You know, we have this, what am I having trouble? Spatula, whatever. And so we want to make sure that we color that in so that it looks like it's picking up the slice of cheese. And I might put just a little tiny bit of shading on that. I like how it looks kind of outlined. Okay, so there we have that. Now it still doesn't look quite like cheese. I mean, it could pass, right? But I have circles on this one, like holes, like Swiss cheese has holes. So let's go ahead and grab this gold yellow blend, and there's dark and there's light, and I'm going to use the light to start with, and I'm just going to make round circles like this. and then little circles. Okay, and same way with the slice, we need some big circles and little circles. Now you'll notice it doesn't even show up. I mean, it's so light. So now I'm gonna go in with the middle shade and kind of do it again. Now that I know where I want my round circles to be. Okay, and then my darkest one is going to be just an outline like this, okay? That will give them just a little bit of dimension, like there's a hole right there. So that'll give it a little bit of shading. So see how I used all three of those shades. And then if it looks too harsh to you, you know, you can always go back in with your lighter color and kind of blend it just a little bit to make it look, you know, a little blendier. Although I don't really care because this is kind of cartoony looking cheese anyway. And now I'm going to use my black pen and I am just going to put half circles on here. It just adds, I think, to the illusion. Okay, there's our cheese. Now we can add it onto our plate, right? So I'm going to use liquid glue on this just so I don't cross over that line. In other words, I don't want glue on that strip where the slice is going to go in and out, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to put that on there. The reason I like liquid glue for this is that I can really see where my cheese needs to go, and it gives me a moment to move it around where it needs to be. It looks like I need to trim this little corner off a little bit. There we go. Okay, and I still have my slice right there. So this slice is gonna go in. Get in there. Hold on, I gotta do it in front of me apparently. It's a challenge. It's hard to do with my arms out in front of me. I feel like I need to, there we go. Okay. All right, so there's our cheese. Now, just that alone is so cute, right? And I could leave it like that. I have all kinds of fun sayings with cheese that are like puns. I mean, just think Gouda, good, and I colored in our little mouse. I'm just going to fussy cut him a little bit. So you could use Gouda. Have a Gouda day. Have a Gouda birthday. Hope your birthday is Gouda. I mean, really, just imagine the fun with that. I saw some online with brie, using brie. So there's a lot of cheese puns, and I think I'm gonna have fun with this. So I figured I could purchase some messages that have cheese things on them, or just print them on my computer. I know that's terrible, but okay. But why not? All right, so I cut out this cute little mouse. He's gonna go right there. Now the one thing about this little mouse is once you add dimension onto this slice, you're gonna have a little bit of, you might have a hiccup where he gets hung up sliding in and out. So make sure when you put glue on him that you really have enough adhesive that he's glued down well, and it still may kind of, you know, hitch up a little bit. Okay. He's so cute. So one of the things that I did to make that easier is I made him kind of sideways. By doing that, his foot is already in the door, so to speak. And so I don't have to like get caught there. He's already in like that. All right. Now, notice in this one that I made, he's holding a little sign that says U. In the stamp set, there is a U, but it is up and down. You'll notice right there. And it doesn't really quite fit. And so I just cut the tiniest little square rectangle. And I'm just gonna write it with my black pen. Just like that. Now you can, like me, I put like a little bit of edge on it, like this, with my pen. You could use ink, you could ink that a little bit. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but so obviously someone's trying to call me. My phone's just blinging and dinging like crazy over here. Look at how cute he is. Oh my gosh. This is so adorable, and I wish that I could take all the credit for this card because it is adorable. And my thought was you wouldn't even have to make the card where it slides in and out. You could just leave it just like that, and not have it a movable card. Of course, what fun is that? But you know, like if you did have a lot of dimension on there and it wasn't sliding really well, why not just leave it like this? It's so cute, just like that. And the mouse ear shows when you close it anyway. So I think that is totally adorable. So again, I really do think this works best if it's got a little bit of dimension. You don't have to, you could just glue it flat, but make sure that you leave room on the back for that mechanism to move in and out, because if you put adhesive here, you know, it won't move. You'll have issues, right? So let me just peel those off. I looked outside, I thought I saw sunshine there for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to walk the dog while it's nice out. He gets a little crazy if I don't walk him. All right, so I want to make it so that when it is pulled out, the handle isn't sticking out. So I'm going to do it just like, I'm going to do it kind of cockeyed like this. And that way he goes in and out. So cute. And then I think I'm going to take my ice blue marker and just add a little bit of, I don't know, shading or something to this plate. Look at that. It's so cute. Have a good day, right? I just think it's adorable. So making it into cheese is a cool idea. Using different colors. Here you may or may not notice the candles are shimmery. I used a yellow shimmer brush for the candles. They are super glistening and shiny, which I love. And then you can see the one that I kind of hitched up on my lines, and it still looks good, but use my idea for making it straight so that your lines will line up perfectly and your outcome will end up being a lot better. Okay, so that is cake day. Okay, let me just real quick show you. These are the cards that they have instructions for, and they use colored pencils as their technique. And I gotta be honest, I'm not in love with the yellow-green combo, and so I flip the papers over and just use them differently. It's not a big deal. So it's really nice to get all of the cake day, you know, pattern paper in this kit. Even if you don't use it the same way they do, you can move it any way you want. So you end up with, so you have like front and back. I just want to show you front and back there. And then you get all this cardstock to make that with. Fun. I like the markers a little better than the colored pencils, so I did markers. But oh my gosh, so many options. So, all right. Have a Gouda day. Have a Gouda afternoon. It's so cute. I have no idea what Gouda looks like. It probably doesn't have holes in it like Swiss cheese, but all right. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye.